am a voice crying out in the wilderness.
Good news for him and for you and for everybody, because we are going to have peace in Jerusalem.
The Key of David with Gerald Flurry.
Greetings, everyone. Last September, there was a politician discussing evolution with a comedian, and the politician said, well, evolution is a myth, and the comedian came back and said, well, have you ever looked at a monkey? Well, the comedian was indicating that if you look at a monkey, you would just imagine that we evolved from that monkey because there's such a striking resemblance the way he sees it. Now, the comedian was indicating that if you look at a monkey, you would just imagine that we evolved from that monkey because there's such a striking resemblance the way he sees it. Now, I wonder if that comedian has ever really looked at a monkey and, let's say, compared it with a human being and the human mind. Has he ever really done that? Have you ever really looked at a monkey and then compared that monkey's brain with the human mind and the human body? Have you ever made an examination like that? Because if you look at the construction of a monkey's brain, it's almost identical to the construction of the human brain. It's almost the same. That's true with elephants and other animals. The animals have brain and they have instinct, but they don't have the power to understand spiritual values, moral values, and they don't have the ability to develop character the way man does. Animals don't have the intellect that man has. And why is that? Why is that? You know yourself, when you look at what monkeys have done, they haven't accomplished anything compared to what human beings have accomplished. I mean, they don't, after all, go out and seek education and build colleges the way we do. They don't send men or monkeys into outer space as men do. Or they send monkeys and human beings into outer space and to the moon and places like that. Monkeys don't enjoy concerts. They don't make movies and television and all these things that man does just routinely. Now, there is a vast chasm between the human mind and the animal brain. Why is that? Why is there such a vast difference between the human mind and the animal brain and instinct? Did man really evolve from monkeys, as many scientists believe? Notice this quote from 60 Minutes. This was in the month of October. I forget the exact date, but October of this year. And the comment was made by Bill Wallauer, a photographer who works at the Jane Goodall Institute, and he said this: "You get the feeling when you're looking at him, that is a monkey, and he's looking at you, it's equal minds." Now that's just a stunning statement. Let me read it to you again, because this is the way a lot of people think. You get the feeling when you're looking at him, a monkey, and he's looking at you, it's equal minds. Now, it isn't that way to me. I don't look at them as equal minds at all. Not at all. Now, of course, You know, a monkey can take a stick and fish for termites or things like that. They can do that, but there's a massive gulf between the human mind and the brain and instinct of a monkey. A vast gulf there that we need to be understanding why. Why is there such a difference in that monkey's brain and the human mind? Now, we had a world-renowned chamber orchestra, the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, recently perform at our beautiful auditorium, and they had an extraordinarily talented pianist by the name of Anand Barnaton. And it surely was the greatest concert, one of the greatest certainly that we've ever had. And you are amazed when you see somebody that give a classical performance like that and move you so much because of the amazing power of the human mind. It is just staggering. Now, you know a monkey can't do anything like that. If you were to go that same day that you saw that concert and look at a family of monkeys at the zoo, would you think really, if you did that just after you had seen the concert, would you look at those monkeys and say, well, they're just equal to us in mind power? And I say that is outrageously ridiculous. We need to think about this because, after all, there's a reason why there's such a difference between the human mind and the animal brain. Now, it is just amazing what the human mind can do when it comes to something like a classical concert or that type of thing. But those views that of evolution and that are, as you know, I think, certainly anti-Bible. They teach different than what the Bible teaches. But you know something? Everything the Bible teaches is right, and you can prove it to yourself. After all, it would be a rather shameful joke for God to play on us if we had this Bible and or He created us and didn't give us a Bible or some way to understand about life and about why we're here and why there's such a difference between a monkey and a man. Why is that? Notice Genesis 1 in verse 25. And God made the beast of the earth after its kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps upon the earth after its kind. And God saw that it was good. So, many men, scientists, try to prove that man and his mind evolved from these animals. Now let's look at it and see what God says about it and see if that really does make sense. And I'll show you how you can prove it. But man is not an animal, or else the Bible is false. Man is not an animal. And you can prove that, and evolutionists cannot prove their evolutionary theory. They can't do that. Now, I want to read something to you to show you, this is where they'll talk about the human mind and where it comes from. And I want to just they keep trying to find that missing link, so to show that man really did evolve from a monkey or a chimpanzee or whatever, but they've never found it. In all these thousands of years, they've never found it, but they keep looking. Remember, let me just read you this example that my son mentioned in a trumpet forum about the Piltdown man. Now, it used to be in order to link human beings to chimpanzees, you had to at least produce evidence in the fossil record. In 1912, for example, a group of paleontologists in Britain found a human-like skull with an orangutan jawbone. And for more than 40 years, Piltdown man, as it was called, was universally accepted throughout the scientific community as the missing link. between apes and humans. The discovery was widely disseminated as indisputable proof of evolution, both in scientific journals and school textbooks. Indisputable proof, they said, that humans evolved from that. The human being, the human mind evolved from that is what they're saying, of course. The Guardian said it was one of the most significant primate fossil finds ever. It was supposed to impact the world of paleontology, quote, somewhat like an asteroid falling down to Earth. A few months later, however, Ida was exposed as yet another in a long line of highly publicized scientific hoaxes. As it turns out, Ida was nothing more than an extinct variety of lemur, just a nice fossilized set of monkey bones. Well, there's quite of a story there that I don't have time to get into, but let me just quickly read you one more about this one. And then who can forget about Ida, which made headlines just last year? Ida was revealed at a convention in New York in 2009 on the same day of the 200-year anniversary of Charles Darwin's birth. Ida is a fossilized skeleton of a monkey that also appeared to be the long sought-after missing link in human evolution. The likeness there means that he made us look like God. We look like God. Legalize marijuana to make... So if you're going to understand the things of man, you're going to have the spirit that's in man. It's in man. And if you're going to understand the things of God, you're going to have the spirit of God added to that human spirit. And then you can understand the things of God. You see, we have to be childlike and be a babe and let God teach us that. And if we're arrogant and unteachable, well, then God can't teach us. But a spirit is in man. And that spirit gives man the power of intellect. And he does all of these astounding things that amaze us in technology. But if you're going to understand the things of God, you're going to have another spirit. You're going to have the Holy Spirit if you're going to understand the things of God. Now, look, a monkey was never intended to enter into the family of God. God cannot work with a monkey because it doesn't have a spirit to work with. He didn't give them that human spirit or a spirit like that because He never intended them to be more than just animals that lived on this earth. And then they die, and that's the end of it. But not so with man. No, not so with man, because God made all the animals after the animal kind, and then He made man after the God. And I'll not read any more of this, but you can get this book, and I hope you will. And if you already have it, please do study it and study it deeply, because this booklet about the what science can't discover about the human mind is one of the most profound little booklets we have ever produced. And you need to understand that. It concludes here by saying, though, it is that non-physical component in the human brain that does not exist in the brain of animals. No, it doesn't. And we did not evolve from animals. And it's time we understood that. I mean, we're facing human annihilation. Something is wrong with man if he uses that mind in the wrong way. And he certainly has done that. Well, you see, there's a reason for all of this. God has a master plan, and He's given you this precious gift. The greatest gift He has to give on this earth before He gives the Holy Spirit is that human spirit, along with the body, of course, to make everything function the way it should. And God's Holy Spirit now combined with our human spirit, and then God can work with us spiritually and give us all the spiritual understanding. And we can go far beyond understanding and producing a Mozart concert or classical music of any kind. We can go far beyond that with the Spirit of God. And we can build the very character of God and the very mind of God. That's why that man is so different than the monkey. He has this awesome potential to be a son of God and enter into the very family of God. Enter into the